the past few weeks have been absolutely crazy. OpenClaw went viral. Claude released Opus 4.6. At the same time, ChatGPT released Codex 5.3. The whole industry went into this whole roller coaster of absolute hype to meltdown to absolute hype again. And I have to confront the possibility that all of my tastes, abilities, skills, and knowledge won't even matter for much longer. Let me explain why. So, two things that actually shook me the hardest is that Opus starts talking like my own product because of what it knows about me, without me having to actually prompt it in a specific way at all. Many of you guys know that I have a certain beef with Anthropic over the past 1 year. And now that beef sort of doesn't matter anymore. And the reason why I had that beef in the first place is because we discovered this prompt, right? The AI coach prompt. I made a video about it. And it has literally changed lives for so many different people. And then about 1 month later, because Anthropic wanted to improve Claude Sonnet, so they released Sonnet 3.7, and everything went downhill from there. Every single improvement just makes it harder and harder for the AI coach prompt to work. And a lot of the workflow that depended on the AI coach prompt and also writing samples, there's a whole drama around them. Most people won't realize this, but internally in my community, we know this because previously Claude would be very would mimic the writing style very well, and then it doesn't do that anymore ever since 3.7 got released. I know there's a lot of critics say that it does it better, but honestly, I think that those people they just don't have the eye for it. Real truth, like that's my truth. That's my opinion. Okay, so in any case, after a while, I decided that okay, we really have to create an app. So I made an entire new project. I hatched the plan to create Neo, and that has been my trajectory ever since. So, and if you've been following me, you know that I've been trying to get Neo up and running, but I think the partnership wasn't right. So, towards the end of 2025, I finally picked up vibe coding, and I have been vibe coding Neo ever since, and it's been doing really well until OpenClaw came out, which is the second thing that really shook me. Opus 4.6 really shook me because like it talks like the AI coach, except without the AI coach prompt. And I actually asked it why. And it told me that, hey, it's because it knows all of my preferences. It knows that I have ran a gym before and it failed. So that tells it that I am not, like it doesn't have to coddle me. And it tells me that it knows that I value truth. So it would just tell me whatever. We wouldn't try to preserve my feelings. So that's kind of like how the AI, it knows how to talk like the AI coach even without a prompt. And I also noticed that Anthropic added some clarification feature. Like right now, before it gets started on tasks, it would actually it would start popping all these cards, right? Like which one do you mean? So it's not feeling the AI consultant prompt, except without having to insert the AI consultant prompt. So yeah, it's like the entire moat around there is destroyed, which is kind of silly of me, if I'm really being honest. I thought that the AI coach prompt is gonna be a moat for a while. Now it's no longer a moat. On hindsight, it's stupid of me, but things like this do happen. We can't really control it. Well, the second thing is actually OpenClaw. I'm going to talk about OpenClaw now. OpenClaw raised the bar actually, because previously, yes, you can patch things together through make.com and a lot of people, a lot of the AI bros will say, hey, that's my agent. You're not agent. Not truly, because you still have to go and glue so many different things together in order to do one function, and it breaks so often. And it's so frail. The entire system is so frail and so dependent on other companies doing exactly what you want, which is what you don't want to do, which is exactly what I did, depending on Anthropic. So, but OpenClaw completely different, because even though it has so many so many security issues and whatever not, it is an imperfect solution. It is an imperfect product, but they are hard at work at improving it. And the guy, Peter Steinberger, he just created OpenClaw for it took him 2 months to create OpenClaw, 1 month for it to go out to go viral. Like, what do you expect? It's a 3-month-old product. Problems are expected for a 3-month-old product. It's phenomenal, you know. So even in its MVP version, it's able to basically do surgery on itself. Unlike end-to-end automations where if something breaks, like the AI can't do surgery on itself. OpenClaw, the AI can do surgery on itself. Whether it gets it right or not is an entirely different matter, but it is able to do surgery on itself. Is it like I was experimenting with it, and I was mind blown by the fact that I can tell it to, hey, I want you to switch to Kimi K 2.5 now. Hey, I want you to switch to Sonnet 4.5 now. Hey, I want you to switch to Codex now. And it can literally change its own model. Like, what can do that, you know? And I can message it from wherever. Like, for the first time, I realized that I actually don't, like how when we are using ChatGPT, Claude, we have so many different tabs, and we have all these conversations about different topics. And I realized how redundant that is. Like, it is actually so much easier, so much better when we have a one long running conversation via Telegram, WhatsApp, Discord, and we can just tell it stuff. We can send it voice note. And it makes sense of things for us rather than we trying to have to manage all the context across all these various different windows. And at its core, the memory system is robust, but at the same time, simple. And when something is effective and simple, it is elegant. Right now, before OpenClaw, I created a very sophisticated RAG architecture for Neo. And I don't regret it because it is, I can say this without pride. I think that our RAG architecture is much superior to OpenClaw. However, it is only because we need it. I need it. It is because my clients need it. My community wants it. But OpenClaw is not targeted to the people I need. OpenClaw is targeted to something else. So, so putting all of that aside, right, like the persistent memory function or whatever not, for something like that, if you think about the ratio of the RAG and the level of sophistication with the simplicity, it wins in that regard because it is able to do so much while being very, very simple. So OpenClaw really opened my eyes up on what true agentic workflow looks like, especially when I can dissect, because it's open source, I can dissect what's it like inside. I realize like, okay, wow, I am definitely, I can see the difference between a vibe coder like myself with a true industrial expert like Peter Steinberger. So it really opened up my eye and showed me my gaps. And so it's like the combination of everything that is happening really shook me, honestly. I can still see where all this is going. I still believe in a destination, but the gap between my daily work and the vision of Neo, combined with like how fast the landscape is moving, people are shipping products left, right, and center. So many people are making so much money with OpenClaw. And I'm not making money with OpenClaw because if I were to sell OpenClaw, then what about Neo? Then what about the rest of my other stuff? So it's like it created this kind of doubt about whether I'm actually gonna get there before it stops mattering. Because at some point it's gonna stop mattering. Many people say that. Many people said that. When I say many people, I'm talking about smart people. I'm not talking about dumbasses, okay? I'm talking about smart people. They say that AGI is arriving probably end of 2026. Personally, I believe so too, because I myself am experimenting with something. Vibe coding really opened up a lot of doors for me, and things which I had an idea for. Uh, like many of you guys probably heard of Ralph Wiggum loops, where you can AI is Claude code specifically is kind of constantly getting re-injected with a certain prompt loop to help it solve a problem. I had a sudden idea about like I think that AGI is actually more a matter of plumbing rather than AI being smarter. So I'm actually running an experiment right now inside of Neo. It's available in the admin panel only, where periodically it wakes up to accomplish one core to chase after one core driver. I'm going to talk more about it in the next video, but it's been producing very interesting results. Like I don't have to direct it. It is not borrowed from OpenClaw architecture whatsoever. It's completely my idea, but I was never able to make it happen until I learned vibe coding. So when I look at it that way, like wow, this may be an approximation of AGI, but it already like Neo already feels like a CEO. Like when I talk to Neo, I feel like I'm the investor and Neo is the CEO. Like it is already trying to make things happen on my behalf. So a lot of people, including myself, think that AGI is just around the corner. We are very, very close. And if AGI starts to happen, ASI is no longer a distant dream. It's gonna happen really fast the moment AGI happens. So what's gonna happen then? A lot of people are gonna lose their jobs. I know a lot of companies, a lot of founders. They say that, hey, we will still keep our people, but honestly, being in business for so long, so many years, after all the things I've seen, I think those are just, I don't know what's the word for it. I'm not sure people are gonna keep that promise. And so it's kind of like, hey, we are probably gonna need UBI. I said earlier that all my taste, ability, skills, and knowledge won't even matter for much longer is because like even before Claude Code, before OpenClaw, before Neo, when I was using the normal Claude AI, I was already able to create my own, create documentations that basically I codified my skills, my tastes, my QC into Google Docs, and make Claude learn about it. And I didn't know it at the time. I called it CTP, Context Transfer Protocol. But basically all this while, I just didn't have to work for it. Basically all this while, I was building building AI skills. I just didn't have word for it. I had the idea, but not the word, not the articulation for it. So I've been putting that into Claude, I've been making it work. And now Claude skills is actually a thing. So when Claude skills is a thing, basically instead of just the taste and the skills, you actually put in the AI tool calls directly into the file, inject it in as a markdown, so that Claude Code and other agents can use it. And right now, skills is a very big thing, and it is expected it's going to grow to an even bigger thing, where basically you have a marketplace for it. So Anthropic has been pushing this narrative, hey, instead of building agents, you should be building skills instead. And it's a domain where I had a lead in. Now I no longer had a lead in. And basically, I see a lot of other coaches, a lot of creators, a lot of things, people who have any form of skill whatsoever, any form of expert. They don't have to learn code. They can just create skills. And AI can actually help you create those skills. It's pretty easy. You just need to have a sort of framework, a way to think about it. Whether those skills are going to be good quality or not is going to be a different conversation, but you can. That's the whole point. And it's not going to be something that affects me, but it's going to be something that affects everyone, because people aren't going to want to go and learn skills anymore. People are gonna be more interested in having their agent learn the skills to execute on their behalf. So the agentic age is here, and the agentic age won't last long. Once AGI is validated, it's confirmed, it's proven, we will enter the AGI age, and we're probably gonna have like 1-2 years, maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's probably gonna be 1 or 2 years, because we got to remember that 1 day for AI is like 5 minutes for us. I've had Claude Code telling me, hey, this is probably gonna take 2 weeks of work, and I say, get started on it. 15 minutes later, it's done. So it's done well. I know, because I tested it in Neo. We are building Neo with Claude Code. So after AGI started, we probably have 1 or 2 years. That's an optimistic estimate before ASI happens. So we will enter an age where cognition is no longer the valuable thing. And it's just a matter of time before robots take over physical labor as well. So if that happens, either UBI has to happen, or we will have a whole lot of economic issues on our hands. Your employers, your clients won't fire you outright, but you will know that you are making money on borrowed time. You're gonna make money on borrowed time. You're gonna have to keep. You will try not to have the question at the back of your mind, but you will have the question at the back of your mind. When are you gonna be irrelevant? Why should people buy from you over AI? And you may say things like, hey, people won't buy from me because AI can't do this, AI can't do that. But honestly, it's really not a matter of whether AI can or cannot do it, because AI can do it. It's just whether people want to buy from you or not. Fun fact, I told my accountant the other day, accountant will probably never go away, because even though AI can do everything, when it comes to money, people will always need one person to blame. So if they can't blame the accountant, they will have the accountant find somebody else to blame. So that's probably gonna be a safe job. But everything else, I can't see it. And people say that I am in a good place because I'm in AI. But honestly, I'm not sure. Because I'm already seeing, like, there are a few things that I'm not saying that I am doing. But Claude Code is progressively taking over my role in terms of what I do as well. And yes, I'm aware of how dependent I am on Anthropic once again. But they created a good product, and they attach a very cheap price to that product to help me accomplish a lot more. So it's something that I gotta use. So I needed clarity. I used to think that ABI would solve things. Nowadays, I don't think ABI. I'm not sure already, because ABI can help you survive, but UBI not necessarily gonna make you thrive. UBI not necessarily gonna give you dignity. It may give dignity for the people who are currently living in the streets and whatnot. Good for them, but I'm not sure how it's gonna affect society. A lot of things sounds good on the offset. A lot of things sounds good as an idea and paper, but break apart implementation. So we're just gonna have to see. One thing I knew is that I needed to get clarity, which is why the past 2 weeks I've been filled with not just engineering work with Neo and debugging stuff for my users, but a lot of conversations with my AI coach as well. And even though the path is not clear, what truly came up was this one insight. And the one insight is that no matter what the market does, my mission will not change. Instead of mission, let me rephrase that. It's not my mission, it's my vision. What I want does not change. And I think that if you are probably feeling the blues like me, I hope that your vision does not change too, no matter what age this is bringing. And for me, my vision is that I want to see a future where everyone thrives. And the fun and the way this came about is basically the AI coach asked me, "Hey, if you see yourself like 3 years from now and you count yourself very successful, like how would your future look like? How would your daily life be like?" And I thought the first thing is, okay, I'll be making like 100K a month. That'll be my dream come true. Then I know that I can use the money to invest in even more crazier things that I have the idea for, but not the means for. And then and then AI asked me, okay, so now you're making 100K a month. Now what? Then I thought about it. Is okay. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play games all day because I'm tired. Um, and then I went out. I had lunch. I thought about it further, and I realized that no matter what, it's gonna come back to what I am currently already doing. Because no matter what happens in the world, there will always be people who just barely survive, barely scraping by. And at the end of the day, my heart keeps going back to those people. I keep going because it's where I used to be. It's near and dear to me, and I have the most amount of fun helping people make money, talking about marketing, talking about uh, talking about building a business, like sharing my own personal experiences. Those are the things that I truly, really enjoy doing. And I would keep doing it no matter what. So what I want doesn't change. I want to see everyone thrive. And that is a deeply personal thing to me. It's not a declaration. It's just something that is. So the first things first, no matter what, is that when I look at it that way, right? No matter what, my priority is to always ensure that my product keeps up with the market. There are still moat with Neo, but uh and it's rapidly closing. Okay, so I've begun the process of agentifying Neo, and luckily, OpenClaw is open source, so we can look at what's inside and figure out what gaps it created. Because when it comes to marketing, whatever your competitor creates, no matter how awesome you think it is, it always creates a new problem. Whenever an old problem gets solved, new problems gets created. So what I did was I went in there to look at like what are the new gaps that it created. So I worked with Claude Code basically to rip out its innards and basically see from inside like what architecture we can learn from it. One of the most glaring things is the ease of use, because like a lot of my friends who try to use OpenClaw, they open the CLI, they just close it down immediately. And there are a couple of my friends who successfully make it very simple to install, one-click install here and there, but you still have to go into Anthropic website, find the API keys, copy and paste this, copy and paste that, and whatever not. Some people like Tasklet, Madness, they release their own agents already, which is comparable to OpenClaw, which is basically an OpenClaw wrapper as well. AI.com, they did that Super Bowl commercial, right? They want to make things so easy for people. And I think that's the way to go. However, I think that there's one small little, very niche domain that is created, not because those big players can't do it, but because those big players don't want to do it. And personally, I think the moat is very specific towards Neo's memory and rack architecture. Neo's memory and rack architecture is overkill for most people. Like, big companies gonna look at it as like, why the fuck would you want to do this? But for me, I think it's absolutely necessary. The persistent memory, including OpenClaw, no matter even though a lot of people say that they claim that OpenClaw is persistent memory, I find that it keeps forgetting as well. It doesn't remember to the level and detail that I want it to remember. The entire thing about Neo is that if you tell Neo something today that contradicts what you tell Neo 5 years ago, Neo is going to call you out. Neo is going to ask you about it. He's going to question it. That is a whole, like, it is one of the, not the whole, but one of the core premise of Neo. It is meant to be a coach at the end of the day. Neo should guide people to become more. Neo should make people use AI not to do less, but to be more. So in order to do that, it needs to be a perfect thinking partner. It needs to be not even a thinking, it's like a thinking sparring partner. And that is something that I think the closest big player to doing this is Anthropic. The rest of the other big players, I don't think they're even thinking about this. They're very much focusing on how to make things easy for people, which is completely different from the augmented intelligence philosophy. So Anthropic may come around and suddenly drop a big problem that will make this irrelevant. Who knows? I don't know. All I know is that right now, here is what I got. And I think it's time to stop focusing and comparing what I do versus what other people do. I just need to keep my head down and focus on what I do. I think that is a sort of shift, the biggest shift that came to me over the past 2 weeks, that sort of removed all my blues. And now I'm just back to focusing 100% on what I do and not caring so much on what other people are doing. So one thing that has been really helpful, and this is a idea that maybe you can find helpful too, is like how when we scroll around on social media or YouTube, especially YouTube, we come across content and we do not know whether this content is just hype because of the title. Is it just marketing, or is there some substance to it? So what I did was that I know, but because my Claude code is attached to Neo, so it's connected to Neo, it knows Neo's codes and architecture deeply. So whenever I find an interesting video, I would just send a link to Claude code. We installed a mechanism in Claude code that allowed it to just transcribe stuff every time you just send a link to it, and it's able to just sort of like watch the video by reading the transcript, right? And tell me what's relevant based on my context, based on what it knows about me and what it knows about Neo. So since it knows Neo's codes, we can actually know whether something is relevant to me or not. Because there are many things which I find, I think about 9 times out of 10, in the thing that I care about the most, which is Neo's rack architecture, memory, rack architecture, stuff like that. According to Claude code, this is not according to me, according to Claude code, about 90% of the time, and the things that I do care about, like whatever we have in Neo is actually more developed and more robust, superior than whatever that the creators are claiming. So this has been really, really helpful in helping me remove all the noise and figure out what are the signals to keep. So like I'm learning a lot of things from the bigger creators like Matt Ganzer, Alex Becker. Alex Becker, like his words are filled with hype, but there is actually a lot of substance in the things that he's saying. So like I am hardening the security on me. I'm learning a lot of things that I otherwise wouldn't have even think about rapidly by just showing, hey, this is the URL, go and check it, extract what's relevant. And say, oh, okay, so here's the core idea. Very interesting. Mind you, I don't know anything about coding at all. Until today, I don't understand what is Neo's codes. All I know is that I have a big picture overview. I understand the architecture. I don't understand the code. So and it's been working pretty well. So that is a tip for you if you find yourself like getting lost with too much information. So we are studying whatever we can to basically reproduce it in 2 areas inside Claude code, so that I don't have to pay so much on API keys, and also apply the same process to agentify Neo. There's a lot of things that is happening inside Neo right now. I am shipping code much faster than I ever did before. And I'm really happy with it. But at the same time, because we are not just making Neo a wrapper for OpenClaw. We are actually going through the codes, the architecture, the design decisions, and we are ripping it up. And we are looking at, hey, what can we learn here and putting it in Neo, which is slower, much slower than just wrapping OpenClaw. But at the same time, I'm kind of proud of it. I'm kind of proud of this process because I am learning a lot more in this way rather than just wrapping it. I also have the opportunity to patch a lot of the security gaps that way because OpenClaw, you guys know, has a lot of security issues. But we can actually create a better process, a more safer process. I'm also learning a lot about architecture as well. And I think I wouldn't have it any other way because when I do it this way, I can really call a product my own rather than just wrapping OpenClaw with a Neo brand. And I think aside from the fact that aside from the craftsman pride, I think that when my users are using Neo, they also wouldn't want to, realize. As I remember, there was one provider I was using, and I thought that, okay, this provider is so novel, and I found out they were a GSL white label. I'm like, what? Oh, interesting. I felt let down a little bit for a while then. So right now, there's a lot of opportunity for me to improve upon OpenClaw, even though I don't know code. Funny. What a time we're living in. I can improve on OpenClaw, but I don't even know what the hell is going on. So, yeah. So that's exactly what we're doing right now. And in my next video, I'm gonna share more about that. I have a very interesting feature coming up in Neo where Neo lives for you. Neo's heart beats for you. So that tagline is probably gonna make some people blush, but it's very interesting. So yeah, that is basically my update for this week. My entire reflection on what is going on. I'm gonna continue to make videos like this. I realized I missed like 2 videos last week, way off my quota. But I think the process of like sitting down and crystallizing, getting clarity is extremely important. And that's exactly what I did. Yeah. What would you say to someone who is feeling the same doubt? Do you feel the same doubt with yourself and your industry with all of these things that is happening in the AI world and the tech world? Let me know down in the comments. Until next time, see you.